All right, mostly in shadow, but this is Castle Crags. So got up on at about 3, got on the trail about 4:30, and I've been climbing pretty much ever since. Wanted to get out, beat the heat. We'll see how far I go before I take a midday break. I think that will be my plan today, to beat the heat and hike later into the evening when it's cooler. So that is the tentative plan. Shooting for about 25.5 today. That would be awesome. So those are the Castle Crags. Pretty steep climb going up there. There's a little bit more elevation gain of the crags. So we've got about 2,200 feet of elevation gain with a loss of about 1,000. So mostly up, but not anything like getting up to where I'm at right now. That was a tough grind. All right, we're at mile 15, 18.5. You can see Shasta in the distance. We're heading west, leaving it behind. And you can see the Castle Crags, also leaving it behind as we head west. Still a little bit more uphill to go. It's a shame there's so much smoke in the air, because that's kind of a lovely shot of Mount Shasta with the clouds and trees and stuff, leaving that behind. But it is a beautiful mountain, a bit over 14,000 feet. And I came in the trail right there, and like I say, leaving Shasta behind. All right, so we're at mile 1524.7, looking down on Upper Seven Lake, and you may not be able to see it, but there's a kayak floating on that lake. There's also, looks like there might be a car or four-wheel drive that got in through one of these roads here. I'm gonna see. All right, so I am here enjoying some trail magic, which includes a Coke and a nice little baked with a cherry on top. And I'm here with Cuckoo Kazoo, Leapfrog, and the Owl. He is the bringer of trail magic and packer delight. So this is a great way to kind of finish up. I've got about another 2.5, 3 miles to camp. But this is an awesome finisher. So thanks to the Owl. So I wanted to show you one of the most spectacular spots that I've camped at on this trip. So behind me, off in the distance, is Mount Shasta. And this is my camp spot. Right, gonna be right there, which also overlooks mountains. Feel like they go on forever. Just a gorgeous spot. I'm glad I made it. It was a tough 25.5 miles, but I got up early, got here a little after 7, got some trail magic for an hour. I got a long hour of lunch on top of the trail magic. So long day, but productive. Just at a camp, 1.5 miles or so, maybe 2 miles. It's 6 o'clock, overlooking lovely little lake, the Shasta with the sunrise coming up. Alright, we're at about mile 1535. We're going through this lovely kind of orange with the green trees, this ridge. Going through that way, there's a gap there going through. It's just kind of a pretty morning sunshine. I just love these cool rock formations. You can see these seams, these white-ish seams in the orangish brown rocks. It's a different kind of a rock than I've seen before, where you've got the gray surface but the orangish brown of the rock underlying it. Also have these really cool puffy flowers. Looks like another saddle coming up here in just a minute. We'll see a new vista. See what it is. I'm going to be heading to Highway 3 down that way. And just came up that way. So just after lunch. I took a little early lunch. I was cruising along, minding my own business, when BAM! All of a sudden I'm on the ground. I was holding my poles, not using my poles, so I couldn't stop my fall. It's been a few days since I've had a fall, and this one punched me in the nose. So, got a little blood, no big. It was about half a mile away from a water source. I was able to kind of clean myself off a little bit and have lunch. But just another reminder, accidents happen. So you can never be 100% prepared. So I went down. No permanent damage. In the Trinity Alps wilderness, and been hiking for about 3 hours, maybe a little less. And I'm coming up over here, gonna go over there. There's a little saddle. So when I set out this morning, the minimum I wanted to do was 20 miles, but that's not very ambitious. The Scott Mountain Summit, where I started this morning, is 8 miles back. Carter Meadow Summit is 12 miles ahead. That would be the 20. What I'd really like to do is get 25 in today. We'll see how that plays out. So, a lot of people, or some people, get what's called the NorCal blues. Because it's fairly long. Some people say the scenery is kind of the same throughout. And I can understand that. So the rocks I was looking at yesterday, kind of reddish brown rocks. Yeah, you see reddish brown rocks up here. But for me, Northern California has been enjoyable because I've seen places, or I've hiked places that I've seen before or been before, you know, car camping or driving or looking at mountains from a distance. But now I'm actually going over those mountains. I'm walking past and through places I've been before. So for me, NorCal has offered an additional kind of familiar sense of accomplishment. So I haven't gotten the blues, the NorCal blues. There are times I still wish I was home. There's cool stuff going on there, but I'm happy to be on trail and have proven myself that I can do mileage as an old geezer. So yesterday was a 31.1. That's the longest I've ever walked, other in a continuous stretch, and that follows the Castle Crags hike, which is the most difficult on the trail so far. It was over 7,000 gross vertical feet of elevation gain. That's a lot. Anyway, so hiking, still more to go. Mile 1575. Just got to another saddle. And we're confronted with this quite a bit of fire damage, but there's still some trees hanging on. So I think I'm going to be going along this way and maybe going along over that way. Alright, so this cairn identifies what has been called the most beautiful lake in the Russian mountains, Russian Creek mountains. You can hardly see the mountains through the smoke, but if you look straight up, that's where I'm going to be scrambling to get to Bingham Lake. We'll see how the scramble goes. Some of my buddies I hear are already up there. So it's about 1/10 of a mile scramble and 200 feet of elevation. I see some more cairns over there. So I'm not going to film the scramble because I'm going to be using both hands, but I'll film when I get to the top. Look. All right, so this is the payoff. It's quite a scramble, but this is Bingham Lake. this is going to be my campsite. I'm going to cowboy camp. Crossing fingers mosquitoes aren't going to be too bad. We'll see. But this should be one of the more spectacular campsites I've had on trail. We'll see. Alright, so this is the view from my sleeping pad of Bingham Lake. It's about 8:15. Sun's starting to go down. Gorgeous little lake. So, getting ready for bed. So just about a mile and a half past Bingham Lake. Down there is Russian Creek. So this is another beautiful section in Northern California. Is a marker. 1,600 miles. Pretty good, although the last 3 days were tougher than I expected. First day, I wanted to do 25-mile days. The stretch was 98 miles between, I've lost track of the first place. Anyway, 98 miles to Etna. And people typically, by the time they get to Oregon, which is not very much distant, are typically doing back-to-back 25-mile days. So I wanted to get into that routine. Coming out of Amirati's in Castella. But what I didn't account for is the elevation increase. 7,000 feet gross on the first day. The second day was easier. The third day was 5,000. This was yesterday. 5,000 feet of elevation. First day I did 25.5. Second day I did 31.1 miles. That was the farthest I've ever walked in a day continuously. And then yesterday was another 26 and a half, something like that. And then today is going to be about 12.6 out to the road to get to Etna. So it has been a tough few days. The Etna Summit trailhead. And hoping to get a ride into Etna. From a trail angel I have yet to contact. So see how this plays out. But at this point, the trail is closed due to fire. You may be able to see up ahead. There's some markers indicating trail closure, but I'm gonna hang out with this hiker trash to see if we can get a hitch. So I'm walking downtown Etna. Cute little, really little town, kind of where looks like time forgot it. There's a cool bakery, city hall, coffee shop, stuff like that. Little teeny theater. Anyway, the reason I'm here is to do a quick resupply, but also I'm doing a zero here, catch up on some videos, but also because word has it on the street that the trail, the closure might be lifted tomorrow. The decision's going to be made today, and this is the closure from the Etna summit where I just got off yesterday, through to Syed Valley. So I'm hoping they decide to lift the closure so that Friday I'll be able to start from the Etna summit and go all the way through to Syed Valley. Crossing fingers, we'll hope that's how it plays out.